All right, let's get started with our Module 7, ready to go on quiz. And this is in the textbook. This is both the Math 7 and the Math 7 Accelerated California edition. I'll have a link in the description to the textbook if you want to buy it. But here we go. Number 1, n plus 7 is less than negative 3. I'm going to copy this and bring it over to the side. So I got some room here. And so what you got to do is you have to isolate the variable. This is a one-step equation, or inequality, I should say, where you just subtract 7 from both sides. I view it, this is just like if you have n, oh goodness, n plus 7 is equal to negative 3. You would do the exact same thing where you have to subtract 7 from both sides, and in this case, n would be negative 10, you see, but in this new problem, we're talking about inequalities. So it doesn't have to be equal, it has to be, in this case, less than. So I do this here, and n is going to be less than negative 3. That is our answer. N is less than negative 3. Super simple, just like Module 6. And I will get rid of this. And then the next one, number 2, I'll bring it over here. I'll just write here 5p is greater than or equal to negative 30. Well, this is multiplication. That's 5 times p. So you have to use the inverse operation. And the inverse of multiplication is division. So you divide by 5. That gets these to cancel. But what you do to one side of the inequality, you have to do the other side. See, I drew that line, so I have to do it on the other side as well. P is greater than or equal to, and negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6. There you go. So P is greater than or equal to negative 6. Okay, the next one, let's go back and forth here. Number 3 is 14 is less than k plus 11. And we're going to, now, in the other cases, we were messing with the left-hand side. But here, the constant is with the variables on the right-hand side. So we're going to subtract 11, not 14. So if you subtract 11 from both sides, 14 minus 11 is 3. It's less than k. So you would write it that way. 3 is less than k, or you could, if you want to write the letter or the variable first, you would write k and then 3. And notice how it's open to the k. And it's opening up there, so it has to stay open to the k, just like that. So either one works. Number 4, let's see. Let me erase this here. So for number 4, you got d divided by negative 3 is less than or equal to 6. So this is division right here, and the inverse of division is multiplication. So we'll multiply by negative 3, so multiply by negative 3, and when you multiply by negative 3 and divide by negative 3, that's just, those actions just cancel each other out, which is the whole point. And then we have, we're multiplying this side also by negative 3, because what you do to one side of the inequality, you have to do to the other side to maintain that balance. And is less than or equal to 6 times negative 3, that is negative 18. So D is less than or equal to negative 18. Actually, what I got to do real quick is I got to say that in this case, we multiplied by a negative, right? Let me do that in green right here. We multiplied by a negative right here. And when you do that, you actually have to switch the direction of the inequality. So it actually opens the other way. So when you multiply, and later in number 6, when you divide by a negative, you have to switch the direction of the inequality. So I'm going to change this direction of the inequality to open the other direction. That is the correct answer. Okay, I'll get rid of this here, right there, and that. And then I'll go to the other side. Number 5. Number 5. It is, let me get rid of this stuff here. So we have c minus 2.5 is less than or equal to 2.5. Well, the inverse of subtraction is addition, so I have to add 2.5 to both sides. These cancel. C is less than or equal to 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5. Or that would be 0, 1, because it's 10. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. That would be 5.0. Or I would probably just write C is less than or equal to 5. That's what I would write. C is less than or equal to 5. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got number 6, and that is 12 is greater than or equal to negative 3b. Now, the inverse of multiplying is dividing, so we have to divide by negative 3. And these cancel. You have b, and 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. But you did something unique here. We divided by a negative right there. And when we do that, we have to change the direction of the inequality, opening the other way. That's the only time you do it. Well, or if you multiply it by a negative. So if you multiply or divide by a negative, you always have to change the direction of the inequality. Oh, I just realized something. I made a mistake on one of them. So I better change that. So this is negative 4 is less than or equal to b, or b is greater than or equal to negative 4. Both of these statements, these both mean the exact same thing. It's open to the b there. It's just which side do you want the inequality on. Now, we got the next one here. Jose scored 562 points on his math test so far this semester. To get an A for the semester, he must score at least 650 points. Write and solve an inequality to find the minimum number of points he must score on the remaining tests in order to get an A. Okay, so he's scored 562 so far. I'll write this in blue. He's scored 562 so far. And then he has to score some amount. I don't know. Let's call it n. Don't know yet. And that sum has to be at least 650. So that means it has to be greater than 650, but it also could be equal to 650. And there you go. There is the inequality that we're going to use to solve this. And maybe I'll have it over here. I will get rid of this stuff here. And if we take the inequality I just wrote, and then we just subtract 562 from both sides, 562, and n is greater than or equal to, what, that's 8. That's also 8, I think. 88 points. So, yeah. So n has to be he has to score at least 88 points. So I guess we could say n is greater than or equal to 88. So Jose has to score at least 88 points. Number 8. During a scuba dive, Lainey descended to a point 20 feet below the ocean surface. She continued her descent at a rate of 20 feet per minute. Write an inequality that you can use to solve. You could solve to find the number of minutes she can continue to descend if she does not want to reach the point more than 100 feet below the ocean surface. So she is 20 feet. So she currently is at 20 feet below. And she's going to move at 20 feet per second, per minute, I mean. So I would probably write x, right? That's the number of x is the number of minutes. And actually, if she's 20 feet below the ocean, it would be this. And if she descends, she's going to go down, not go up. So this needs to be a minus right here too. And that needs to be less than, she wants below the ocean surface. So she wants to go further below 100 feet below. So 100 feet below would be negative 100. And she wants this to be greater than. Oh, she wants to go. No, she doesn't want to go below that. She wants to go no more than 100 feet below the ocean surface. So this is the max that she's going to go down. She starts at 20 feet below, and then she descends at 20 feet per minute. And then this x is going to be how many minutes she can continue. But this has to be greater than negative 100, because if you think about it, if you have this here, 0 is the surface of the ocean, and she starts at negative 20, and she needs to go no further than 100. All of this stuff here is all greater than negative 100. So that's why this all has to be greater than negative 100. But it could be equal, because she's willing to go to exactly 100 feet below the surface. Okay, so now we're going to solve this. And we're going to copy. I don't know why I'm copying it. I won't copy it. I'll just write it, huh? How lazy do I have to be? So negative 20 minus 20 times x is greater than or equal to negative 100. So I'm going to add 20 and negative 20 times the number of minutes. Oops, not equal to, but greater than or equal to negative 80, right? Because negative 100 plus 20 is negative 80. Now this is multiplication, and the inverse. By the way, I added 20 here because that's the inverse of subtracting or having a negative here. But here the inverse of multiplying by 20 is dividing by negative 20. So you divide by negative 20. These cancel. X, negative 80 divided by negative 20 is positive 40. But check it out. We divide it by a negative right here. I'll put this in green here. The fact that this happened right here means we have to switch the direction of the inequality going the other way. So that's it. She can dive, Lainey can dive no more than 40 minutes. So let me erase this here. And so x has to be less than or equal to 40. So Lainey can, can dive no more than 40 minutes. Number 9. So for this here, we have 2s plus 3. 2s plus 3 is greater than 15. You got to just, this is going to be easy. This is just, the inverse of adding is subtracting. You have 2s is greater than 12. The inverse of multiplying is dividing. And s is greater than 6. So there you go. S is greater than 6. Let's go to the other side. Number 10. Number 10, we have negative d over 12 minus 6 is less than negative 1. Okay, two sides. And I just noticed that that is not negative 1. That was just 1. Okay, so we have to add 6 to both sides because the inverse of subtracting is adding, and you got to do it to both sides of the inequality, just like an equation. And you have d divided by 12, negative there, is less than 7. Now we have to, okay, this negative can go in the middle where it is. It can go on the top, or it can go on the bottom. You can slide it anywhere you want. One space. I'm going to put it down here. So this would be d divided by negative 12 is less than 7. And this is going to make it easier because now all I have to do is now I just have to multiply by negative 12. That gets these to cancel. but I have to do it to the other side as well, so times negative 12. And 7 times negative 12 is negative 84. And D, now we did something important here. We multiplied by a negative, which means that I have to switch this going the other direction. So our answer is D is greater than negative 84. And we have the next one, number 11. We're getting there, getting close. Number 11 is negative 6w minus 18 is greater than or equal to 36. So two sides, I will make sure I add 18 right here because it's subtraction of 18 and we want to do the inverse operation. Negative 6w is greater than or equal to 6 and 8 is 14. That's 54. Now I have to divide by negative 6 on both sides. Negative 54 divided by negative 6, I believe, is negative 9. These cancel. I got w, but I divided by a negative, so I have to switch the direction of that inequality going the other direction. And so it's w is less than or equal to negative 9. I'll write that down now. Over here, w is less than or equal to negative 9. Other side. I'll erase this. And what we got is we have this z over 4 plus 22 is less than or equal to 38. So two sides, and the inverse of adding is subtracting. So I'm going to subtract 22. Z over 4 is less than or equal to, what, 16? Now it's so tempting. It's so tempting to think, oh, I take 16 divided, since I see division, 16 divided by 4 is 4, but no, don't fall for that. You have to look at this operation. This is division. So you have to do the inverse of what you see by the variable, which is division. So you have inverse of that is multiply. So you multiply by 4, and then you multiply this by 4. And 16 times 4 is 64. I didn't have to switch the direction of the inequality because I'm not multiplying by a negative. And there you go. So z is less than or equal to 64. Yeah. And here we have b over 9 minus 34 is less than negative 36. Here the inverse of subtraction is addition, so I add 34 to both sides. And we have b divided by 9 is less than negative 2. I get negative 2 because these are different signs right here, and then I just subtract them. Negative 2. This is division. The inverse of multiplying is, I'm sorry, that's division. The inverse of division is multiplying, so I have to multiply by 9. But I got to do it, and these would cancel, but I have to do it on this side too. And negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. So b is less than negative 18. B is less than negative 18. Okay. Then what I have is this other one, 14. So it's negative 2p plus 12 is greater than 8. So we have two sides. The inverse of adding is subtracting, so I subtract 12. I get negative 2p is greater than negative 4. And then, that's multiplication, so I have to divide. I divide by negative 2. And these cancel. I get p, but Oh, and then -4 divided by -2 is 2. And I divided by a negative right there. That's super important. The fact that you divide by negative means you have to switch that inequality direction. So it's going to be p is less than 2. So that's it. And then we have our last one here. So what we got here is how can you recognize whether a real world situation should be represented by an equation or an inequality? Well, for inequality, you should look for words or phrases that indicate inequality, such as greater than, at most, or at least. And that's what you got to know for this. So I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.